Hello everyone, welcome back to the 5-digit UK Cup. We are in the semi-finals and it is the losers bracket. It is Vonneti versus Shamoui. I believe it is the losers bracket. I've just double checked. I can't believe I've already forgotten that. It is in fact, yeah, it is the losers bracket. We are in the semi-finals, as I already mentioned. I'm interested to see how both these players play. Even though they are in the losers bracket currently, they've both been playing very well as a whole to even make it this far in even the losers bracket. But even when they were fighting against the winners bracket, they were still putting out some phenomenal scores across the board for both these players. So, putting these two players against each other, I do wonder what's going to happen. I don't think I could give a single player an edge on the other. They're both... I don't fully remember their skill sets individually, but I do remember that their skill-wise, that I don't think they're too far apart from each other, from what I remember anyway. I would mention that, the fact they're seed 7, seed 8, and, that would make them close for qualifiers, but we're so far away from the qualifiers at this point that none of that matters, and it's just individual players at this point, but we seem to be failing on a warm-up. Why are we not bringing no fail? What the hell? Well, okay, hopefully this warm-up doesn't break this time. Okay, it seems like they're actually able to play the warm-up and not immediately die, since in fact they both have no fail this time, which is good to see. I am going to do a quick look over on the map pool. If you haven't seen this map pool yet, I'd recommend, either taking a quick look at some of the other matches to see, what kind of maps we have, or actually just stick around because I might read some out here. I'm interested in seeing this No Mod 1 get played because it is Strike for Blood. It's a map that a lot of players do know. I mean, it was a map I was playing when I was like 6-digit, like a few years ago. It's overall just a banger map. It's a very good aim map. It's got some bursts and streams littered in there, but it's still a No Mod 1. It's still got majority aim. The No Mod 2 is, a bit more... It's not necessarily easier than the last No Mod 2, but it's a bit more reasonable. Because the last No Mod 2 we had was OD, I think, 8. Which caused a lot of problems. But this time, we've got an OD 9 No Mod 2, so maybe we won't see as much note lock as we did before. Which will be very nice to see, which means we'll get to see, a lot more consistency on those streams and a lot more, just, players being able to play streams without worrying about, being locked out of the map for a good few seconds. No Mod 3 is also a banger. It is a JoJo's song. It is Crazy Noisy Bizarre Town, which is our No Mod 3. And that was the last map I remember fully seeing during the showcase, but it was also still a very fun alt map. From what I remember, it was actually quite a bit difficult, but it's nothing like just unfathomably impossible. Like, I'm pretty sure every player at this point in the bracket will be able to play a lot of these maps very, very comfortably. And if it's a map they're maybe not so comfortable on, I'm pretty sure they'll just ban it anyway, because they'll be so much more comfortable on everything else anyway. Then, No Mod 4, it is... Oh yeah, I do remember this No Mod 4. The No Mod 4 was Mercury, a retrograde. It is a tech map, but it's a bit more meme-coded, I would say. It's a bit different of a No Mod 4, more because of the song itself, but you'll see that if it gets picked, because I have no ways to explain that No Mod 4. No Mod 5 is Necrosis of Warm Memories. It is a speed map, I believe, at 230 BPM. And it's relatively short, so you're not going to be worrying about your stamina or your ability to play the map too much, because, it's going to be over quick. But there's so much combo in that 2-minute map that, if you're not someone who is still at least confident enough to play a basic level of speed, then I wouldn't recommend picking that map, especially not into an opponent. Especially not into an opponent, sorry, that will be probably a bit more confident on it. Then, we go to that No Mod 6. It is a Yosobi song. It is Berry Berry. And it is the more gimmicky map, with it being an AR6 for a No Mod 6. It's just an evil approach rate, if you ask me. Those are our No Mods, and you can see the rest maps on the screen right now. And it seems our players are going to be going for their roles. And Shamoui gets first pick, and vonneti is taking first ban. Oh. I'm interested to see how this goes. I am kind of hoping we do keep that no mod 4 on the board, just so then... Sorry, I'm coughing a lot today. Just then you can see what I mean by the fact that it's a bit of a unique no mod 4. That's the only thing I can call it, because I don't know how else to describe that map. It is a tech map as far as I'm aware. I think it does count. Oh. 0-7 to JoJo's. It seems we're not going to be getting that no mod 3, which is sad to see, but it is what it is, you know? I mean, maybe not too comfortable on that kind of alt map, a bit different of one, but it is what it is. And no mod 5 DT2 being gone. The higher BPM finger control speed picks off the board, which is probably going to be telling vonneti that they're maybe not so confident when it comes to those mechanics. And vonneti is getting rid of no mod 3 and DT1, so maybe that alt ability there for vonneti is feeling a bit weaker today. But there are still so many different types of maps on the board. Every position pick is on the board. That no mod 6 is still on the board. And yeah, like, you know, all of those hiddens, all of those hard rocks, still 2 of the DTs. You know, you've got still quite a decent range of maps on the board, and a lot of those really weird, awkward maps still on the board. And the first pick coming out from Shamoui is going to be that hidden 2, going into low AI hidden. Maybe trying to get that early, you know, that early mental gap, because hidden 2 is one of those ones where if you're not comfortable on playing low AR hidden, it can really get to you quite quickly, because, you know, it's one of those ones where you're just kind of looking at the map and just, if you're not comfortable at low AR hidden, you're just not going to be able to crack it on the spot, and you just can't get the score you're maybe hoping out for. But if you're comfortable on hidden 2, and you're playing hidden 2 into someone who has just picked it, then, you know, maybe you'll feel a bit better. Maybe you'll feel, you know, a lot more confident towards it. And it's just going to be up to both these players. I think they can both play hidden. I'm pretty sure vonneti can play hidden. I can't fully remember, but if they weren't able to play hidden, my guess would be that they banned it. But considering the fact they didn't, I think they can. And I'm excited to see the performance both these players put out for that hidden 2 pick. I mean, early in, we had that very small break coming in from vonneti, about a few tens of combo behind, but it doesn't really matter. They both trade out their misses pretty much identically. And the accuracy lead is just slightly in favor of vonneti, which is going to be moving that score lead back and forth right now. That early, like, 20 combo lead is pretty much our biggest score difference right there, but, you know, we're only about a quarter of the way into the map. There's still enough time for both these players to build combo, build accuracy, and pretty much just duel it out for this point. Yeah, this section on the hidden 2, the sliders, a bit those stacked notes, and this awkward aim control mixing in together, it actually makes for some challenging sections, and vonneti does find that unfortunate break due to it, but Shamoui does just trade it out pretty much immediately after. But if they didn't find those unfortunate chain misses there, they were about 30k score ahead, but now they're only leading by a few thousand, 4,500 to be precise, well, to be closer to that. And vonneti is holding the accuracy lead and a small bit of that combo lead right now, which means, you know, in that last quarter of the map, I mean, even though it is a small combo lead, that scoreline is also so small that they could maybe flip it over within the last quarter of the map. Because there is just a small bit of just enough score in the map remaining to swap over, and Shamoui finding that miss actually does cause vonneti to gain the score lead now. Coming towards the end of this point, getting into these awkward stacked notes, those kind of burst streams, and, you know, vonneti does find a break now, but they're so far ahead now. They're about 40k with so little on the map. It's going to be almost impossible for Shamoui. It would be impossible for Shamoui to bring it back, which means that the first point of this match is going to be a break point. vonneti one missing the map. I think it was 2 or 3 slider breaks. And Shamoui putting out a very, very respectable 416k, but unfortunately just isn't enough with those ending misses. It is now vonneti's pick. They are able to, you know, maybe continue the momentum off with the pick that, well, the point that they just got off their opponent's pick. And, you know, going off the fact that, you know, they banned the alt maps, their opponent, Shamoui, banned the mechanics, they're going to go into that DT3, picking into DT. I mean, both of them banned the DT each, but very different DTs, might I say. The DT3 is, you know, very, very short. In fact, I think the shortest map I've seen in a tournament in a while. It is 1 minute and 9 seconds. But in that 1 minute, 9 seconds, there are 755 combos. So it is, you know, it's not necessarily a open map. It is a very dense map from what I remember. And yeah, it's going to be pretty much one miss and that score could be the end. Should be found in a tent under a bridge following a DT3 pick. Yeah, the good lucks are coming out. I believe the players are ready, and let's get into this DT3. With how short this map is and how dense the combo is, I'd expect this, you know, to kick off quite quickly. And Shamoui comes up with a very early break. Just 60 combo through the doors, and they'd already found the first miss. Now, this map is very intense on that speed, which is why I'm not surprised that vonneti picked into it, but they did find a miss themselves. But Shamoui does trade it out pretty much immediately. The accuracy difference showing off immediately, a 10% accuracy difference almost. And, you know, vonneti practically doubling the score because they're already halfway through the map. This map is so quick and it's so intense on that mechanics. And, you know, vonneti is showing off that they're, you know, they're confident enough to pick this map. And, you know, put out a score that's respectable. They're at 250k already, halfway through the map. Oh, getting to the, sorry, the last third of the map. I forget how short it is. And vonneti does find it an unfortunate break. However, Shamoui has to, you know, build that combo and accuracy up now. But, you know, there's so little of the map left, but it's still so dense. So maybe they could start moving it over. That scoreline is closing. But that accuracy needs to change. And that miss there makes it a bit more helpful. But Shamoui does find a miss right at the ending. And if there was a chance for Shamoui to, you know, bring that point back, that miss at the end made it just unbelievably impossible. And vonneti just coming out with another one miss back-to-back and getting their second point on the board, taking the first break point and the first point of their own. And it is Shamoui's turn to try to bring it back to their favor. I feel like Shamoui might be a small bit shaken here. I mean, it's still early into it, and there's still so many points remaining on the board, but you know, your first pick didn't go your way, then your opponent immediately picked into something that, you know, you kind of showed in your bans that you weren't comfortable with. But then, you know, you picked the DT4. You want to, you know, maybe keep the DT going. You did just play DT, but this is a very different style of DT from what I know. It is actually under AR10, so it's not too much of a problem. And it is a bit lower on that BPM, so you know, it's I feel like this is, I don't fully remember this map and I feel so bad for saying that. But I think this is maybe a pick that will move more into their favor rather than vonneti's, because I think this is an alt map, right? This is a more of an alt map, which is in vonneti's weakness, basing off their bans. And Shamoui, not being the speed player, might be a bit more confident on that finger control, and vonneti does find a very early break to show it, but Shamoui trades out. Yeah, this is a lot more ulti, more aim control, a lot of squares, a lot of awkward patterns in this map just very early in. vonneti does build up quite an early combo right there. And, you know, Shamoui's now catching back up too. Shamoui does find a very unfortunate break, which means vonneti's now going to be kind of running away with the score lead there, but they do find the break there. They had 300 combo. They were even on the accuracy, but, you know, maybe it just wasn't enough. I mean, they still have, you know, 30k score lead, but they're still over, you know, 3/4 of the map remaining, and Shamoui now leading with combo.
Indeed,
also, hello,
with combo. Hello there. Yeah, there's quite a bit of map left. It's not too long, to mid 30 seconds, so the combo will matter a lot, especially after vonneti finding that break. There's still some advantage on vonneti's side, but after those misses, it will not matter at all, as Shamoui will indeed get the score to their side with that combo, and the longer they hold it, the more score lead they build up. Halfway into the map, they see the scores, and now the nerves might hit a little bit, though.
Yeah, I mean, Shamoui is holding on to a, practically 500 combo event, and vonneti just finding another unfortunate break too. This was the point that Shamoui needed. This was, the map that Shamoui needed, maybe to build that confidence back up and to, get themselves back into the match. They seemed they were, a bit shaken up with at the start of the match.
Indeed, but now they are definitely cooking with the combo. 650 and growing, about 200,000 lead. Now that finds the miss, that gives a tiny bit of room to vonneti to maybe do something with the score lead. Shamoui finding a chain of misses actually, which might make the score jump back to vonneti pretty quickly. 60,000 now. Shamoui finds another miss. vonneti holding on to that combo. It's not looking good for Team Blue here, as vonneti still holds onto that 450, 460. Shamoui holding onto something, but down he goes, and it's gonna shift very shortly. 10,000, not even that anymore. The shift is gonna happen. There's a break. They see the score. vonneti knows he has this unless he misses. But the nerves might hit here. vonneti finds the shift. Now they need to hold. As long as they hold, it's gonna be that point again.
Yeah, that just coming out with an ending clutch there for vonneti. 655 combo on the ending. Shamoui did put up such a fighting score there, but yeah, those later misses unfortunately did just kind of give vonneti too much of an opportunity for them to not take it, and it ends up being another breakpoint in favor for vonneti.
Unfortunate misses, as you said, and that actually dropped the accuracy by quite a bit. I'd say down to 96.4, was it? 94
so.
point something or something, which actually on Score V2 makes the score drop quite a bit.
Yeah,
we could have seen that, and also the combo scaling near the end of the map is just crazy. So all of that combined gives a point to vonneti.
Yeah, accuracy of Score V2 mixing with, as you said, that combo scaling, it can just be super fatal towards the end of the map, and vonneti has managed to abuse it perfectly in their favor to bring that point into their favor. So, I honestly, it was just very well played from vonneti. They built the combo basically exactly where they needed to. They had the accuracy, just built enough to make that score lead move faster. And now with it being their pick, they've not got as many options when it comes to being, abusing the map's mechanical abilities. So instead, they seem to go almost a full 180 and pick into the No Mod 6, go into low AR.
Interesting choice. Hidden 2 was picked before though, also won by vonneti. So that makes a little bit of sense. There's no hidden on this map, and the AR is a tiny bit lower, down to 6, which is, as a viewer, maybe enjoyable, as a player, not so much.
Yeah, at this point, we're basically reaching easy levels of territory when it comes to these approach rates. Like, when you're looking at a map that's AR6, it maybe looks a bit easier. There's a lot more on the screen at once, sure, but you can see very clearly what note goes next. When you're in and playing, that's so much more of a different experience than you might realize, where, this low AR is just overwhelming, and there's so much on the screen at once that you have to try and break through each note individually, and Shamoui kind of showing off that really early with a very unfortunate early break.
I'm not quite sure what happened there, but as you can see, this map not just hits you with the AR6, but you get hit by quite a bit of stacks. Like every 5 patterns, there's a huge stack there, which easiest misread you can ever get, especially stuff like this, but they seem to be not playing the map for the first time, I believe.
Yeah, thankfully, I think both these players have put some decent practice into it. vonneti almost having a bit of a misaim there, but does recover right at the last second. Shamoui has built the combo back up, only about 50 behind, but that 2% accuracy difference right now is, you know, quite major for favoring vonneti. About 40k, and Shamoui does find such an unfortunate break there as well, which means that, you know, they're maybe gonna have to pull out something incredible, and they have to start building that combo now and hold on for the entire map if they really want a chance to bring this back, especially with the squad that vonneti is putting out right now, where they are showing so much confidence on this just no mod 6.
Yeah, this map is not looking that difficult until you actually play Shamoui, finding a massive chain of misses there. One note lock is all that is needed for stuff like that to happen, and now the score lead of almost 200,000 on side of vonneti is gonna be pretty difficult to shift back, especially with yet another miss from Shamoui. 5%, over 5% accuracy lead for vonneti, and I'm sad to say that this point is most likely going to vonneti.
Yeah, this is a map that I wouldn't initially have said that was a very vonneti favored map, but with how they've been playing in this match so far for the first 3 maps and now this map, vonneti's just been pretty much on a roll in general, where they've just been playing the high approach rate, they've been playing the low approach rate, they've been playing the speed, the mechanics, and now they're playing the reading ult and, you know, a bit more of the gimmicky maps, and they're just shredding right now. 700 combo, 98.7% accuracy. Like, what can you even do against this?
This is what I call practice. Not much else to say that. If you are side reading like this, holy, but I just don't believe this is a side read, and like no matter what, this is an insane score coming in from vonneti already. If he manages to finish it up with an FC, that would be insanely cool. Shamoui finds a miss, but that does not matter because vonneti 98%, almost 99% FC.
Oh my. Yeah, that accuracy is insane. The full combo to match, and not even being caught out by that really awkward reading section at the end with the squares. Genuinely, vonneti might just be the next reading player at this point.
Yeah. Could be. I mean, they got the point on Hidden 2 as well. And yeah, I don't think this No Mod 6 was a trial and error pick. They definitely planned this one out.
Yeah, there's no way you go into that kind of map and just go, yeah, I'm gonna try and sight read it, because, you know, that would probably be a death sentence at this point. But, you know, with that No Mod 6, they put that practice in it to evidence. But now we get to see if they put practice into this No Mod 4, which is a bit of a different No Mod 4 from what I remember.
Yeah, I've seen some mixed feedback on this map.
I remember during the showcase, this map had quite a few question marks on it when people were seeing it, but I'd probably slot this more into the meme-sided of the maps. And Shamoui does find a very unfortunate break on this early kind of tapping section, but, you know, it's so early into the map that, you know, it could be recoverable later on.
It's early into the map, but it's 1 minute 55 seconds, and the accuracy drop was pretty crucial in this one, I would say.
Yeah.
Almost, not almost, over 10% difference right now. Both players are holding combo though, so we might end up seeing a combo game point, which so far is looking better for vonneti as well though, so not much to do for Shamoui than just pray for vonneti's downfall, and that's not gonna happen, is it?
Yeah, that's such an unfortunate, I think, slider break for Shamoui, which I think has already solidified this map as being over for them, because vonneti is holding on to an insane accuracy right now of 98.4, holding on to the full combo, even through the long sliders, and the parts that should be catching him out, but they just don't seem to be doing so, as that combo just keeps building further and further, and that scoreline is now sitting at a solid 440,000 for them, over 220k difference.
You know, this point is not shifting back, and all eyes on the left side, just as vonneti finds the slider break as well. unfortunate one, not gonna do much about the point. It point will go to vonneti and he will be on a match point already, which is he's speedrunning this match, but anything can happen still.
I mean,
but what the hell is that score again?
Yeah, oh yeah, vonneti is just playing out scores in general, but yeah, as you're saying, I mean, just because it is 5-0 at this point, it doesn't mean the match is over. Shamoui could pull out something absurd with the next few maps. I mean, we saw it in OWC last night. We've seen it in a few matches in general in this tournament. The match ain't over till it's over, and I hope Shamoui knows that, so they start, maybe trying to fight back. But they're going to be fighting an unfortunate uphill battle now because it is vonneti's pick too.
Yeah, all it takes is what, 2 breakpoints and a point of your own? No, wait.
I believe so.
3 breakpoints.
2 points. Oh yeah, it will be 3 breakpoints, which is going to be a very difficult uphill battle to fight.
And we get hidden 3. Let's go. I love this map. I love this song. Such a banger.
Yeah, both these players very comfortable on hidden. I mean, Shamoui opened up the match with the hidden pick, but vonneti did end up bringing that point back into their favor. So this is another one of those maps I think could kind of go either way.
Good that much. I would say on paper, after seeing the previous scores, might be in favor of vonneti a little bit. But again, as you said, it could go either way. Shamoui might get hit by dope of adrenaline because of the 5-0. They still want to fight back. They still want to get at least something on board, I believe. And so far, it is looking a bit better for them as vonneti finds a second miss now.
Yeah, vonneti seems to be struggling a bit more on this map, and Shamoui is just holding on comfortably. 330 combo and building, 97 accuracy. I mean, they're dropping a bit of back here and there, but honestly, as long as they don't drop below vonneti's accuracy or drop combo, they're gonna be in quite a safe position right now. Because vonneti's playing on the catch-up game. They've got to catch up accuracy, they've got to catch up that combo, and that score lead right now was about 80k in favor of Shamoui. And oh, that miss right there is going to be super unfortunate for Shamoui, getting a small bit of an under aim, but vonneti trades it out so quickly, so that scoreline isn't going to be closing anytime soon. 100k difference, and Shamoui is going to be the one with that score lead in their favor. I mean, it's halfway through the map, but I mean, there's no major combos on either side, so that scoreline probably isn't going to shift majorly, but there's a miss coming out from Shamoui, but it's traded out by vonneti immediately, so last third of the map, but there's no major combos going into it.
Yeah, these trades are definitely going in favor of Shamoui, especially on the egg advantage by about 1.2%. This is gonna shift back and forth a little bit, but as long as it stays somewhat around this numbers on combo and egg, it's gonna go to Shamoui. Shamoui finds a miss, but that's instantly traded by vonneti. 100,000 in the last, what is it, 8th of the map. Yeah, it's not impossible, but we need to see a massive chain miss from Shamoui. There is some miss from Shamoui, some egg drops, but is it enough actually? vonneti is holding some combo. There's not too much density to the map, I believe, and this should be the first point going to Shamoui as we spin the end of the map.
That is the first breakpoint of 3 that they need to bring this match back, and I mean, with how confident they looked on this pick, maybe they're warmed up, they're back in the swing of things, and maybe they're just ready to start bringing the heat to the match because it is their pick now too, which means they can pick into anything. They could maybe pick into the hidden one, just play into it and just continue that momentum they have on the hidden. Maybe pick into a hard rock which hasn't been played yet. They've got pretty much so much available to them. But honestly, as long as they don't pick the No Mod 2, I'd be confident with them playing pretty much anything here.
There's quite a bit to pick from. The pool is not as big as it was at the beginning of the match. But as you said, we still have some options. And HR3 is indeed one of those.
Yeah. I'm interested in how this Hard Rock 3 will play out for these players. I'm not... my memory does falter me a bit on this map, but it is a bit more of a consistency map. It is, quite long in the drain length of being 2 minutes 46. It is, Its CS is 4.8. It's quite forgiving when it comes to CS on Hard Rock, but it is still 1300 combo long, so that nerve control is going to be important. Your consistency especially is going to be important, and, you know, just this kind of map in general where it can, from what I'm hearing in the song, there's so many spots where you can probably be a bit caught out, where it's maybe got some more tapping here and there in the map, which, honestly, I would favor vonneti, so I'm just interested to see how this goes.
As we have seen vonneti pick hidden 3, it went in favor of Shamoui, not by much. But, I don't know. These players seem so on par that I cannot really tell you a map that will highly favor vonneti, that will highly favor Shamoui. We just need to watch and see what happens in the map, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to those more mechanical picks, so far, this match specifically, vonneti has been leading those mechanical picks. I mean, that DT3 was probably the biggest focus of it, where, you know, the 270 BPM streamability, and vonneti did lead it, but vonneti might start crumbling because they did find the first break, but Shamoui does trade it out, unfortunately, and that is a major act drop coming out on the 1/3 as they both miss, but that's still like a 5% accuracy benefit for vonneti, which is going to lead them to that 20k bonus right now on that score.
2/3 still left, still around 2 minutes-ish of map left. With lead that died, I don't think this map is decided just yet, and it might just get decided in the last few circles.
Yeah,
but the lead will build up on vonneti a little bit as they hold a 4% accuracy lead right now.
Yeah, and then especially with the miss coming out from Shamoui there, they're also going to be holding that combo lead, which means that score lead is going to start growing exponentially. It's already about 50k, and yeah, that 4% accuracy lead is just so good for vonneti in this situation. I mean, they're holding on to combo to benefit, but they do find the miss. It is the last third of the map, and that's, you know, that's about 70 score lead that Shamoui needs to climb back now, which means they need to hold on to that combo. They need to start building that accuracy back up, because they're only about 2-3% accuracy behind, but it is going to be that combo right now that's going to be most important for them. They're about 45k behind. It could be clutchable in the last quarter, but it's going to be tooth and nail.
I do see a way, and the way might be happening as Shamoui still holds onto that combo. Vonneti holds onto that 260, but not anymore. Vonneti finds a miss. Now the score lead will go more and more to the right side, 328k to 346k, and going 340, 350. The score will shift. We will see another shift, but can Shamoui hold? The one break from Shamoui, and it might be over still. So don't say anything just yet. We need to wait for the end of the map, and there's the slider.
How do you clutch that, Shamoui? How do you clutch that? That is exactly what you were needing. 40k benefit at the end of the map. Both identical miscounts, but that combo clutch at the end for Shamoui has just brought them the second point. But now, vonneti is immediately going to take them to that no mod 2. Just doesn't even give them a chance to rest.
That's what you call a comeback, I must say. From about 70k down, 90k down, I'm not sure what the exact number was, up to a pretty good lead at the end of the map in just 1/3. Combo gaming at its finest, what can I say?
Yeah. Even though Score V2 is a different score system to Score V1, the combo game will always exist in O2. It's a part of O2 at this point. And yes, that map is just basically proof of it. I mean, Shamoui wasn't like so far behind in accuracy that it was ridiculous, but they were behind enough where that combo was so necessary. But now we're on the no mod 2, and this one is significantly shorter, 2 minutes, so that consistency isn't going to be as important, but that flow aim definitely will be, because it is that no mod 2, 185 BPM. So, you know, once again, still within that comfort range of both of these players, and it being OV9. Small bit of note lock possibilities here and there, but definitely not as bad as last week's no mod 2. And the early miss is coming out from Shamoui on the start of this map.
Yeah, you've had a saying about the OD being not that bad for note locks, but you can see that they still can happen because of the flow aim especially, which this map is unforgiving on the flow aim side. And look at vonneti, is still holding on to that double S. Shamoui finds another miss, and this is not looking so good right now.
Yeah, this is one of those maps that I was saying that I was really hoping Shamoui wouldn't have to play against vonneti in, because vonneti is a player that is just so confident on these kind of maps. If there was one map that I remember playing vonneti playing, I believe it was an Omod 2 a few rounds ago, and they had put out such phenomenal scores just consistently on these kind of maps. And this is right now another case of that. They're on that 745 combo, 99.5% accuracy, practically just 3 100s as Shamoui finds another miss. I think this match might be over unless vonneti no logs for the entire map. I think it might be GG's because it is the last quarter of the map. vonneti is just building accuracy on this last quarter, and the flame really just not causing them any problems whatsoever.
The match is indeed over, but not the map, so all eyes on the left side as vonneti tries to pull off another incredible FC in this matchup. Does he hit the spacing? He does.
vonneti
Do I need to say more?
Oh God.
I don't think so. 99.62%. What is that? Like 3, 4 100s? 5, okay.
5 100s out of 1,178 combo. Absolutely absurd. Less than 1,000 off of a 1 mil in no mod, which is genuinely crazy to think about. Yeah, vonneti is just one of those players you don't want to play no mod 2 against them, because they don't lose on no mod 2s. And they kept it in towards the end of the match, which worked out so fantastically for them. And it is unfortunate for Shamoui, who has now been knocked out of the tournament because it is loser's bracket, unfortunately. And vonneti does get to continue in through the bracket. I don't know who they're up against next, but I think they play again this weekend, so keep an eye out for it. And
it's gonna be either Umarat or Vempela, I believe. Which is a really good matchup as well. So see you tomorrow, 15 UTC for that.
Yeah, we'll see you for that match, because it will be a close one, it will be a tense one, and as always with how this tournament's been so far, it will be a fun one.